Hi there, my name is Betty Mohlenbrock. I am founder and president of Reading Legacies. We are a small nonprofit here in San Diego County that really cares about you very much, and we care about your children, and we'd love to tell you a bit more about a program that is being brought to your facility. The purpose of the program is for you to be able to connect with your children through the wonderful activity of reading books to them. We are very much focused on the importance of reading aloud with children. It provides a wonderful connection, a bond. It shows that you love them, that you value them, and it also teaches them to love reading. And you are the most important role model to your children, whether they be your own kids, whether they be stepchildren, younger siblings, any younger member of your family. We have two men that are going to share a message with you. They care about you. They want to share their experiences with reading and how that has helped their families feel connected. Please know that we would love you to participate in this. There will be ways for you to read books over the phone with your children. Thank you so much. God bless.
Okay, well, let me start by saying I'm Mike Haynes. I'm a retired football player, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, one of the NFL 100 greatest players in NFL history. I'm very fortunate to have with me here a good friend and someone that we are going to learn a lot from. If you want to talk football, talk to me. If you want to talk life, talk to him. Okay? So, Kory, why don't you give a little brief, bio of who you are?
I had a brief incarceration. I was an inmate at one of the one of the county facilities, and I had quite a few run-ins with the law that had been fueled by an addiction. I had two daughters while in addiction who it's getting easier and easier to say and acknowledge that I had neglected for the first couple of years of their upbringing. And when I finally received that sentence, when I was looking at that 5-year sentence, it seemed so big and so, like I was going to be so distant from my daughters in their most crucial years. They were toddlers, 2 and 3. And, that's not who I am. That's not who, I'm not defined by that, but that's my part in Reading Legacies, is that I was an inmate, that this program created a bridge between me and my daughters at a time when I had really no contact, virtually no contact. They didn't have the attention span, so to speak, to stay on the phone for very long. And boy, did this program have an impact on our connection. But other than that, I'm just an average guy. I fell down a dark path for a couple of years. Now I'm just a hardworking dude that loves my daughters,
Oh, that's great. And for the viewers, I'm on the board of Reading Legacies. And I've actually gone into prisons and talked about our programs. And our founder, Betty Mohlenbrock, is just a wonderful lady, a great team of people. And every once in a while, they run into some great guys like Kory, who want to connect with their family, want to be a good dad and be a good example. And so you said you had 2 little girls?
2 daughters, yes, sir.
Yeah. And so tell us how, when you first heard that you could read to them to continue to have a connection with them, how did you feel about that? Did you feel like that was a good chance of happening, or what? Did you really believe that?
When I first heard about it, I was almost kind of like, well, I don't know. What do you mean? And then somebody within my dorm said he was going to be reading to his granddaughter that he had never met before. And he said, it's a time to just kind of let loose. And I went with that. And so when I showed up with somebody that I knew who was doing it, I felt pretty comfortable. And the moment I was in there and I was with the fellas, and there's that sort of camaraderie about being here for a good purpose, you know, getting away from the dorm for a little bit, putting all that stuff aside and just kind of family time. It's hard to get the notion of family time when you're in there. And as soon as I stepped foot into that the room where we do the readings, it was peaceful. It was cool. It was relaxing. It was calming. You know, at first, my first impression was, oh, maybe I'll be a little nervous about getting in here. Or maybe, you know, what do you mean read a book? But then I sat down and saw they get the book, and I get to get goofy for a little bit and make them laugh. Here's Daddy's chance to make them laugh. So, you know, my very first, when they said, here's a sign-up sheet, to me, it was just a piece of paper. I didn't know about the program. I didn't know anybody who had been in it, so I didn't really hear what it was all about. And, you know, I might have walked past it once or twice, and hearing it from another guy, a like-minded guy in the facility.
Yeah.
And I respected him, and he made it sound like a cool thing. So sign me up, you know?
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so have to imagine it really impacted your relationship with the kids and probably who's ever watching the kids as well.
You have no idea. Honestly, it's kind of hard to articulate what it's done or what it did for us at the time, and has continued to do. You know, I've said it before, this program has allowed me to take interest in my daughter's education in an area that I had ignored, that I had neglected, as I said previously. You know, it created a bond, a new bond, at a time when there was distance between us, when I was in a pretty dark place, even a dark headspace. It was kind of a light in the dark for me. And I sought out this program at all three facilities that they bounced me around from. You know, sign me up, sign me up. It's just, they started writing me letters and little drawings about some of the books that I had read them, or one of the books that I had read them. It created a new relationship, something that hadn't been there before. And obviously they weren't writing, it wasn't their handwriting, but it was their words, and they would write little hearts or a little gruffalo. One of the books was a gruffalo. They tried to draw this beast, you know, and it was pretty cool. It was received really well on my end, and boy, did the girls get excited when they saw it. Yeah.
Did anybody read to you as a kid?
My mom did. Yeah, my mom certainly did, often. Looking back, the amount of attention that my mom, had given to my education, it helped me excel in school. And I remember the Dr. Seuss's book, the Seuss books the most.
Yeah.
You know, and they're still a part of our collection here. And it's not the new versions. I have books that are 30 years old, 25 years old from Dr. Seuss that we've had since I was a child. So yeah, I remember my parents reading to me.
So let me ask you, you're reading to your daughters. How has that impacted their lives? Do they love to read now?
They read to Daddy now. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
One of my daughters turned 7 yesterday, and 2 of her presents were books, and she was thrilled to get them. And I'm excited for her to sit down and read them to me. It feels like it's organic, it's natural, and they enjoy reading to Daddy now. And it's cool for me to sit back and just get a story read to also.
So let me ask you, when you got out and you got a chance to be with them, completely different than reading a book, you know, to them, did you continue to read to them, or what? What did you do? Yeah.
When I got out, they were 4 and 5, getting ready to go into kindergarten, so they were unable to read yet. So we picked up a handful of the Fancy Nancy's. I can still remember the books that we picked up. And of course, some of their favorite Disney stories, something that they like to watch the movies. And I did continue to read to them. I still continue to read to them, but it's a higher I read the books that they can't read. So in the beginning, I was reading them kids' books that that they were learning along with dad, sort of thing. But now that they're able to read, they read those books to me. And like I've been reading, what's the the J.R. Tolkien stuff. A little bit more advanced books to them are the ones that I read.
Got it.
The stuff that they can't really grasp yet, and it's just a story for them. It's going to be a long story. You know, it's quite a long series of books. But yeah, the readings continued.
That's awesome. Of course, you know that the earlier they learn to have an appreciation for reading, the better they do in school somehow, some way. And so I assume that they're doing great in school.
Fantastic. Yeah. All of their little grade report cards, the reading, they received a 4 out of 3. So they were above their average in reading. And, you know, I wish they would care about math as much as they cared about reading. You know, I'd shared this before as well. I read my first book to my youngest through this program, the Reading Legacies program. They've gotten so good at reading, it doesn't feel like work to them. So it's just, it's fun.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope that everything continues with the reading, and then we'll start to work on the math. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you're having the success with with your daughters, and the excitement that you have in your voice, even when you're talking about it. I can tell how much you have enjoyed it and how much you have personally benefited from it. I'm sure they have too. And I want to thank you for sharing your story. And let's hope that other guys will be motivated by it. And especially the guys who want to have a relationship with their daughter. If there's any advice that you want to give for people who are separated from their families, from their young kids, and they want to continue a relationship with them from a distance, any advice for them?
Yeah. If you have an opportunity to come across this program while you're incarcerated, the impact of this program that it'll make on your children or your grandchildren, your younger siblings, whoever you're reading the book to, the impact is everlasting. If you can loosen up a little bit and just start acting and have a blast, making an effort to make them laugh on the other side. Pick a book that you get to get creative with, be yourself, all your mannerisms, all your little antics, all the things that make you, you get to bring this home. If you're anything like me and you had neglected or somewhat ignored the importance of their education while they're at a young age, it's not too late to get invested in that, and it'll forever pay off. You know, that's my advice. Seek out this program in the facility if you have an opportunity. It's a great bunch of people. It's a ton of fun, and have fun with it. That's
awesome.
my story.
Thank you, Kory.